would totally love to see more of your RFID tag PCB. And please tell us all about designing it, because that was your first PCB design, and that is
It
a
was,
super
yeah.
impressive first project.
Thank
Like,
you
that's
so much.
it's a meaty one. Like, our first projects around here, like Blinky boards, and yours was just like RFID tag
Yeah. It was
with
like
built-in
extreme.
antenna.
I'm just really, really bad at things like scope creep. I just kind of like it started off as like a board with an LED on it, and it ended up as like actually, why don't I just add an NFC tag? Like, that was completely straightforward and like a natural progression. But yeah, I'll get them out. They're like,
That makes sense.
I'll bring one close. Ooh,
Oh,
I don't know where my
nice.
camera is.
That is so cool.
Too shiny, apparently.
Yeah, cameras are picky like that.
Yeah.
That is super cool. So I
Let's
really
get some text
love
in the back.
I really love how there are skinny pieces of solder mask just to support the silk screen that's on top of them. Like,
Yes, yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that when
That's
on your
it.
photo, and I was
Bring it
like,
a bit
"Oh,
closer.
that's clever." Just
I
like
keep on
making
moving it the wrong way. I don't know my left from my right.
it. That is cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, because I'd heard, because I don't know, because this is my first board. Like,
Mhm.
I haven't experimented with, like, solar mask and silk screen before, but I'd heard that silk screen doesn't adhere that well on its own to the copper or the FR4, that it adheres better to like the solder mask.
Yeah.
And that some board houses, if there's any like silk screen that's like going over copper, they'll remove it because they assume that you've like made a mistake. Or
Right.
so I was like, it kind of like was a thing that was like a preemptive design idea to kind of put the solder mask
Yeah.
under, but I actually really like the way it's turned out. So it's been a really good thing to do.
Yeah, no, it's super cool, and you're exactly right, and I think a fair number of board houses, use automatic software actually that imports
Mm.
your Gerbers and automatically cuts out any silk screen that is overlapping a bare copper part. Because
Yeah,
usually,
yeah.
like, for a normal board design, that would mean that you accidentally put silk screen, like a
Like
reference
over a pad or
designator.
something, or
Yeah, like, was
yeah.
overlapping a pad or something, and then if you do have epoxy on that, epoxy silk screen on that part, then, yeah, it's hard to solder to it, you know? I mean, I remember the good old days when they didn't do those kinds of checks and when they weren't built into like, your circuit board layout programs, and
Mm.
you would get boards that would have that problem if you weren't,
Yeah, yeah, careful
super.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Because it is confusing when you first kind of like open up all the different layers, and then even just daft things like it took me, I don't know how long to figure out there's text on the back of the board, and to figure out which way that had to
Ooh,
appear on screen.
can you hold that up?
Yeah, I can,
Because
I
it
can.
so so
If I
that's
can.
a oh, okay, so that is it a cutout both in the silk screen and in the copper?
Yep, yep. So it's just the
Interesting.
bare FR4 there. So the thinking is
Yeah,
that when you kind of hold it up to the light should kind of shine through the letters, but
yeah.
yeah. I would have
Interesting.
loved to have the lettering in copper, but because it's an RFID like
Yep.
antenna, you don't want to have any copper like in the middle of where the antenna is. So I was,
Yeah.
but
So did
yeah.
you use KiCad for it?
I used Eagle
Eagle? Oh, okay. I'm
just
not
because
as familiar.
that's what we use in work. I haven't needed to use it for anything in my job yet, but this has been like my project to try and like scale up so that I can bring that to what
Yeah,
I'm doing. But yeah,
awesome.
the Eagle, I couldn't find a really easy way of bringing the artwork in, or like drawing the artwork. There was like one user language program that would take like a bitmap and like basically turn it into lots of tiny polygons to try and like approximate the art. So, but I've heard that it's slightly easier in KiCad.
Yeah, yeah, it's easier in I go back and forth between KiCad and KiCad. I don't know, I don't
Oh
care,
yeah,
whatever you
I
say.
don't know.
Yeah, it's actually easier there than it is even in Altium, which I've used a lot
Right.
professionally, but it's still a very difficult process in all circuit board
Yeah.
layout software, which I think is kind of interesting because yes, the automatic ones that actually like Altium will do some converting of like it's like a Microsoft bitmap or something like that. Basically, like
Mm.
you have to go through this crazy obscure process of like pasting an image into Word, copying it to
Oh
your
my god.
clipboard, and then pasting it into the circuit board layout program.
That is
And then it does this
ridiculous.
convoluted process of creating a whole bunch of polygons from
Yeah.
your artwork.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it creates a shape that is so complex that anytime you try to manipulate it, your machine just crashes
It's
or
really
bogs way down. Yeah, I mean, the good part about how it's done in Altium is that you do actually have the ability to scale it after you've imported. KiCad, it makes you import it as part of a footprint, which is a little weird. And it's
Huh.
like once you import it, like the size is fixed. So if you're
Right.
trying to get something to fit perfectly, there's a lot of like back and forth, and that's
Yeah, I can
kind of
imagine.
painful. I don't know if the Shenzhen there's like a add-on for KiCad that I
Mhm.
haven't really played with much. That's for like Inkscape, but I don't know if that's any better.
Oh,
But
okay, yeah.
yeah, I've also heard that it might not work with the current with the latest version of KiCad yet. So there's a little bit of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
or
Kaika's
Inkscape.
something I wanna get into because I just think any free open source software, like, big tick, big
Yeah,
tick. I mean, the good thing is that the Eagle is at least it's free for just, like, 2 layer boards. So
yeah,
it's something that, like, beginners can just, like, download and use and make, like, a simpler 2 layer board with for free. But, like, in general, I try as much as I can to just use free open source software where it's, like, easy and available because I just think that it's a great thing to support, and if I can,
yeah,
I will. But yeah, so
yeah.
KiCad, however you say it, I never know, is
Ooh,
definitely on my list.